So welcome to front and center here at the Iridium.
My brother, what's going on?
It's great to have you with us because you feel
My pleasure, my pleasure.
You fill this gap, of the American songbook where you have these amazing songs that are, the songs you wrote. The critics would always say, but the public absolutely adored what you were writing.
Yeah, we were never a critics band and all that kind of stuff. But hey, as a songwriter, when you reach people and they relate to what you're talking about, that's what a songwriter tries to do. I mean, that's what I try to do. It's having people receive common humanity, common life experience, and that's very important.
And that's what sort of makes it timeless as well, which is why the songs are being played over and over again. They're not going away. Those songs are for real in the American songbook now. But it's also the performance. You have to play those songs. You have to record those songs.
Sure.
And, you go into different bars and you hear songs that you've written, and it's never quite the same as when, so some people you can cover well, but you guys, you have that sound. And when you were playing, you're a great guitar player, this great singer and songwriter. But if you only could choose one of them from the get-go, if you had to choose one, God said you're going to do one, what was,
Well, I can't choose one. I got to choose two.
Okay.
I picked up the guitar, number one, I think, as a tool for songwriting, and number two, as a tool for improvisation. I grew up listening, obviously to Jimi Hendrix. That was the era.
Right.
Clapton, Page, Johnny Winter.
Bless his soul.
Bless his soul. He was one of that Johnny Winter and live, still alive and well. I listen to that record. I still do, cats like that. And then you go and you listen to John Coltrane. And then you go and listen to one of Les's favorite piano players, Art Tatum.
Art Tatum.
Art Tatum was the man.
I agree. He's my favorite.
And then you go listen to Django. And you can see Django's, influence on what Les did also. So, it's a hard thing to do if you have the opportunity to do it. And what that comes down to is never stop learning. And what music does, as profound as it seems, you never stop learning, man. I'm learning today. I'm learning talking to you right now. I'm going to learn on this stage, and my musicians are going to learn from me, and I'm going to learn from them. What I have felt, what's happening in music nowadays, is that the improvisational thing has now left us. Except for, Joe Bonamassa, man, he's a friend of mine, and we're going to do some collaborations and stuff like that, And, so what I've decided to do now is try to have the foundation of a great song and take that out. Jimi Hendrix had all those hits.
But he could sing, too.
And he could sing.
That's the thing people forget. He was a very good, very soulful singer.
Man, when people say Jimi Hendrix couldn't sing,
they're crazy.
They're crazy. I believed every word. Bob Dylan didn't sing? Really?
And Stevie Ray Vaughan could sing, too, really well.
Yeah, man. It's just your particular taste and what exactly that is. But, the improvisational thing, I've been, doing Soundwave festivals in Australia and London Calling and Download Festival, and I've been doing some, selling out some theater gigs, and I'm playing with Orianthi now, who's a ridiculous guitar player, but she has more talent than anything else, so, and we improvise.
Wow.
If you look up like Voodoo Child, I'm going to play it tonight.
Oh, that's cool.
So everybody's going to hear it, and I'm going to take it out for about 12 minutes. So
wow, man.
That's going to,
So the improvisation aspect was always important to you. And when you were doing that, did the songs come out of your improvisations, I guess, and you built upon that? Like you would get fired up?
No. The songs come from titles. The songs come from stories.
So you come up with the lyrics first a lot of times?
Oh, yeah, no. The lyrics and the melodies come
together
at once. That's just the way I do it.
Other people, I'm just curious about your creative process.
But, then in contrast,
yeah,
on my last album, Aftermath of the Lowdown, Bernie Taupin and I got together.
Bernie.
Now that's frightening.
Wow, great lyricist. If ever,
Hello. So we become friends, and all of a sudden he just sends me a lyric. And I've never written like that before. And hour and a half later, the song was written, and I'm going to play that song tonight too. It's called Weathering the Storm. But he wanted to get to know me first, so we hung out and had dinner and just talked about, he's very much into American roots music.
Absolutely.
And he also, on the other side, his mother was a literary teacher, so he had all those books. So that was the first time I didn't write a lyric with music at the same time.
Wow.
So it was scary, man.
It is scary.
It's kind of afraid, because you don't know how it's going to end up. And it ended up brilliantly. And we're going to write again on our next record.
The more I'm getting to know you over the last couple of days, you seem very much a people person, that you want to learn what people are, to learn from them and be with them. And Les was like that with you too. Like, you hung a lot with Les, and it was not so much playing, it was getting to be with the human and hanging out, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, the first time I met Les, my good friend Dennis Berardi, who was my first endorsee on Kramer Guitars, I guess I was about 27 years old. And ironically enough, right about now, we were making the New Jersey album, and when an album like Slippery and Wet happens, and you go from shit to Shinola, sell 17.5 million records, sophomore jinx. So now the pressure's on.
But it was the third record, though.
People
didn't realize that.
Listen, those first two don't count to me.
In and Out of Love was a big hit, though.
Didn't, but it... To you, maybe.
No,
but
no,
not
not to me. I'm just saying.
But, okay, no problem.
It was hard to follow up, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So there was a lot of pressure there. And John wanted to make a double album. And for a guitar player, that's 25 songs, 5 guitar
So
parts,
much work.
5 guitar parts per song, and plus I had to write them, and then solos, and then sing them. I was a little overwhelmed, and Dennis and I were very, very close, and I was venting and saying, man, this is like impossible, man. I can't come up with this much stuff. So I said, you know what? It was 2 days before my birthday. I said, I'm going to go home, see my mom and dad, a couple of friends, and I had this little house on a river, and I had this party, maybe 30 people or something. Dennis walks in about 11 o'clock with Les.
Wow.
I about shit myself.
Wow.
Excuse me. Shat. And Les and I just went out to the dock, and we plugged in.
And that was the first time you met him?
First time.
Okay.
And we just became fast friends, had a lot in common, I think just as human beings. And somehow I was able to separate the genius of the father of electric guitar,
Yeah.
multi-track recording,
Yeah.
and also a wizard as a performer. And I was able to somehow be friends with him, right? I don't know how. It was divine intervention, I guess, or some sort, And
It lasted till he died.
oh yeah, no, it lasted, the whole time, and we hung out, and it wasn't always about music. It was about love and friendship and family and life and how you feeling, man? How am I feeling? And I mean, funny story. This is like, fast forward. He asked me to induct him into the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Right.
So I said, of course, So I go out and I play a couple songs, and he's sitting in the front table, and I'm giving him this kind of speech of praise and this and that. He's like, right? He just storms up in the middle of it, get the hell, and then he does this thing, and he goes, I guess I'm being honored by How High the Moon, and he said, but my favorite song was the B-side. I would tell you I love you, but you're sitting on my face.
Yes.
Coming from a 90-year-old dude.
Something else.
That basically leveled the room, man, And
well, it's funny because you're sitting on his stool right now.
oh, yeah.
So it's just not quite the same, but...
No. Yeah.
But that is the stool that he played every night on.
Yep. Over there.
Yep.
I must have played here 30 times, and I played Fat Tuesdays. I mean, I have footage. I have stuff to give you guys if you want to, incorporate it in this whole thing. Like I said, I don't want to say or I think that I had a kind of a different relationship with him, but I think I did. In
you did too.
a family way.
But he also knew what he was doing. I mean, he knew when he came to see you that, by giving you that guitar, it was gonna do something. Like he knew the power.
No. People don't understand the gravitas of what that was.
Oh, it's important.
Okay. Bon Jovi was on the precipice of breaking that barrier. Okay? And it was kind of on my shoulders, really. And I was overwhelmed, beat, and definitely did not want to do a double record. So after we got off the dock, he goes, "Son, I got something for you." I said, "Really?" Hands me this guitar, and he said, "Here's the sun." I mean, he said, "Son, here's the sword. Go cut the shit." Brought it back to Vancouver. Next record, sold 12.5 million records, something like that. 5 top 10 hits, this and the other thing. And it was, look, at the time, I knew that it was very, very important. But when it came time for me to do this, I picked up the guitar. I got very sentimental. And, time to get down. Everybody's going to see it tonight. So.
Well, I mean, what can we expect tonight on the Front and Center show? Like, what have you planned for us?
I'm just going to, play the best I can and tell stories about us. I mean, that's really what I can do. I mean, that's what I can do. I did a slew of interviews. I mean, TV show after TV show after TV show. This is not about me. I want Les to be felt by the people. He was not only a genius, but he was a very, very humorous man. Take the piss out of himself, have a great time, and also had this father figure thing going on at the same time.
Absolutely.
Oh, and he just happened to invent the electric guitar and multi-track recording, which is the reason why we all have a job these days,
Absolutely.
And, yeah, I miss him dearly. Yeah,
Well, he'll be here tonight in spirit and soul through you.
He is.
And thanks for coming down. I really, really appreciate it.
He is,
Looking
man.
forward to this show, man. Really, really a lot. Thank you very much, Richie.